Call Haloyim Yahweh, Bahasham Hamashiach Yahushai, Bahasham Rakakudash, Barakatham, Shalom. This is your fellow servant Tazawar from the GMS Orlando camp, here with another lesson. First, I want to start off by giving all glory, honor, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Rakakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone whom rule well, and from whom we learn this truth. Shalom to you Akim who are not in GMS but are pushed in likewise doctrine in spirit and in truth with all sincerity. To you few sisters that are listening and learning, as well as you speckled birds who are scattered among the nations, looking like those nations. To the 144,000 elect men and the rest of the hopeful elect, to you I say, Shalom. This video is inspired by current events. I'm not sure, many of you probably have heard about the situation at the Longshoremen, right? And if you're not familiar with the Longshoremen, I'll play a clip here shortly to give you some understanding of who and what a longshoreman is and what they do. All right, but in short, they work at the ports, okay? Your port cities. So the loading and unloading of shipments of containers from ships that are being brought in and out from exports and imports, that's what longshoremen do. Okay, so they control the flow of goods coming into the country as far as getting them off of ships and boats into the marketplace. Okay, so anyway, with that being said, these longshoremen, all right, are unionized. And these guys are basically planning a strike, okay, a union strike for higher wages. Now, to give you an idea, the average starting pay for a longshoreman is about $150,000 annually, a year. Okay, that's a high salary. In any field, right? So that's a very small. That's like the upper, say like upper 5% of earners in the country. Most people don't make six figures as a sole salary, as a single income. Okay, and these guys are well beyond that, 50,000 beyond that, and that's starting salary. Okay, just to give you some background on that. And so these guys are striking for more money. When I'm going to play this clip here to get you to see. All right. Matter of fact, let's just go ahead and do that now. So lock you while I grab the clip. Bear with me.
They're making billions, and they're spending it fast as they make it. I want a piece of that for my men, because when they made their most money was during COVID. When my men had to go to work on those piers every single day, when everybody stayed home and went to work. Not my men. They died out there with the virus. We all got sick with the virus. We kept them going. From Canada to Maine to Texas, Great Lakes, Puerto Rico, now the Bahamas, Everybody went to work during COVID. Nobody stayed home. Well, I want to be compensated for that. I'm not asking for the world. They know what I want. They know what I want. And if they don't, no, then I have to go into the street and we have to fight for what we rightfully deserve. These people today don't know what a strike is.
Right.
When my men hit the streets, from Maine to Texas, every single port, a lockdown. You know what's going to happen? I'll tell you. First week, be all over the news every night, boom, boom. Second week, guys who sell cars can't sell cars because the cars ain't coming in off the ships. They get laid off. Third week, malls start closing down. They can't get the goods from China. They can't sell clothes. They can't do this. Everything in the United States comes on a ship. They go out of business. Construction workers get laid off because the materials aren't coming in. The steel's not coming in. The lumber's not coming in. They lose their job. Everybody's hating the longshoremen now because now they realize how important our jobs are. Now I have the president screaming at me, I'm putting a Taft-Hartley on you. Go ahead. Taft-Hartley means I have to go back to work for 90 days. That's a cooling off period. Do you think when I go back for 90 days, those men are going to go to work on that pier? It's going to cost the company's money to pay their salaries. Well, they went from 30 moves an hour maybe to 8. They're going to be like this. Who's going to win here in the long run? You're better off sitting down and let's get a contract and let's move on with this world. And in today's world, I'll cripple you. I will cripple you. And you have no idea what that means. Nobody does. They're making.
All right, so that guy you saw there was the head of the union. All right, head of the union board for the longshoremen. All right. Now, mind you, that guy makes. I think I read somewhere online that he's between $700,000 and $900,000 a year. Okay, for his salary. All right. And what they want to do is they want compensation. You heard him. He wants compensation for the work they were doing during the dangerous period during the C-19 demic, plandemic. Okay. Now these guys want a 75% salary increase over the course of 6 years. Did the math. Okay. For the entry-level guy who's making $150,000 a year, that's a $20,000 a year bump in pay annually. $20,000 a year for 6 years, meaning that in that 6-year period, right, he will have gone from $150,000 to what's that? 6 years. Up from $150,000 to almost like $275,000 a year. Okay? That's for the entry-level guy who's a longshoreman. And you heard what he said. Everything in America comes in on a ship. Why? Because this place is a giant strip mall. It's a huge place of commerce. It's a mall. That's all it is. Okay? Now, this guy is a American citizen, okay, and he's speaking on what his actions, along with the guys that he is representing, what their actions will do to the American economy if they strike. Okay, He gave you an idea from the first week, the second week, the third week, right? So, personally, I believe this guy is being set up. Okay? I believe he's being set up. I believe this is orchestrated and planned. But as the Akim and the brothers have been saying for a long time, famine is coming. Okay? Famine is on the way. And we believe that it will be an engineered famine. Okay? So, I want to grab a scripture. Hold on. Before I do that, I want to say this. Consider either way, right? Whether these guys go on strike, right? And that cripples the economy for a period of time, all right? Based on what this guy is saying. Okay, we're not going to say cripple, but maybe impact. It's going to have a drastic impact on the economy and the landscape for available goods and services. Okay. Now, if they increase the pay that they give these guys what they're asking for, what does that mean? Well, the cost of shipping and exporting goods is going to go up by 75%, 175%. So you can understand. It's going to go up drastically, which will decimate the dollar, the currency, even more than it is now. And we're already in a period of inflation. Okay? And this is just one aspect. The Lord has multiple parts moving to this thing that's going on. On this chessboard, the Lord is moving multiple pawns into play. Okay? Now, yes, we know the National Guard could come in and possibly take over and do some work there. But that means you have less manpower, okay, for actual military operations. Okay? But that famine, man, will be heavy. Let's go to 2nd Ezra, and Salakia for the rambling. All right? Salakia for the rambling. But just wanted to give you all some context. Let's get 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, and started like the 15th verse, 17th verse. And it reads, it says, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. Right? Now, this is Ezra giving this vision that's going to take place in the last days. Right? So on this side, so Ezra is being given this vision from on high, from the Lord, about his lot on this side, okay, in the end of days. All right. Verse 19 again, it says, behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. Right? And what is an amendment? Let's get that. amendment. So, or amend, right? Right here. And it reads, this is just a Google definition, amend. It says to make minor changes, all right, in a text in order to make it fairer, more accurate, more up to date. If you look down here at this second bullet point, right, you see the similar words is what revise, alter, or change. But the second bullet point means to make better or improve. And then you see here in the quotes, it says, if you can amend or alter people's mindset. And that's what the scourges are sent for, to alter people's mindset. Okay? To alter people's mindset. Why? Because we know that the scriptures say what? We're washed with the renewing of the mind by the word, right? Roughly paraphrased. So when we go into these scripts and then we look at the landscape in our world today and we apply these things, we can say, oh, okay, this is the time period we're in as watchmen, okay? Letting our people know that it's high time to turn back, right? To repent. How? By the renewing of the mind, an amendment of your mind, renewing or washing. All right, let's get this Merriam-Webster's dictionary of amend. And it says the first definition is to put right, right? To put right. It says especially to make emendations in something, all right? Such as a text. And then verse 2 says to change or modify something for the better, improve, all right? To improve. And that's what the goal is for us here in this walk that we have, okay, is improvement. First and foremost, personally, on our personal walk, our personal journey, in our relationship with the Lord, okay? And then for the masses, for the people, all right? Letting them know, those that have the eyes to see and the ears to hear, that they too may change, okay? For the benefit of our nation and our salvation. This is verse 20. It says, but for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness. And that's what the amendment is, turning away from the wickedness, right? Nor be always mindful of the scourges. All right. And it says, behold, victuals shall be so good, cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion, right? For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. All right. Now we know currently things are no longer cheap, right? They were a little while ago, right? And people were getting those subsidies, right? The stimulus packets and all these things. But now we know that we're further along in prophecy, and people are beginning to say, hey, something's off here. Why does everything cost so much? Right? So we're further along than the victuals being cheap. But most people do still consider themselves in good case. Why? Because the wars haven't made themselves across the pond yet over here to Babylon the Great. Okay? People now are more concerned with America sending funding to Ukraine and Israel, and spreading themselves thin with Taiwan, all right, concerning matters of Taiwan and China, right? So we know that the landscape that we're viewing from a spiritual eye is showing the coming of famines. The plagues are already here, right? And the famine, quite as kept, the famine's already here as well, because many of the factories that were producing meat, right? Remember we had that mass death of the cattle and of the fowl, right? Chicken and turkey and all of that. Millions of animals lost. All right, this was just last year or 2 years ago. So famines, plagues, and the plagues are also hitting people. All right, not just the livestock. Okay. Tribulation, anguish. All right. So now we know that these things are coming, and prophecy is rapidly picking up. Okay. So let's get this. This is Revelation, the 6th chapter. And we're going to start at verse 1. All right. Now, Revelation is the final book in the scriptures. So you all should know what that means. Right? Because these are the times that we are in. We're living what's written in this book. We're living this right off the page. All right. This is Revelation 6 and 1. And it says, and I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard, as it were, the noise of thunder. One of the four beasts saying, come and see. And I saw, and behold, a white horse. And he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him. And he went forth conquering and to conquer. Right? And we had opened the second seal. I heard the second beast say, come and see. And there went out another horse that was red. Okay, now we know who red represents in the scriptures, right? The red dragon. Okay, the red man. Okay, Esau Edom, right? And power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. So power was given to this guy. Okay, to take peace off the earth. And that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. Right? A sword is weapons of war. And we see these things happening right now. That red horse is going throughout the earth. All right. Making war. Okay. Taking peace from the earth. And are they not killing one another? Are not these wars right now initially the first one to kick it all off was what? Russia and Ukraine. Right? And then everything, from the Middle East started picking up, the so-called Middle East. All right, start picking up. But again, over there you have your IDF, right? Your small hats, your 1948ers. Those are also members that belong to this group because they're red. They're fellow Edomites. All right, along with the Russians and the Americans and the Ukrainians. And all of them have been doing what? Using their sword. All right, those ICBM missiles. Verse 5. And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse. And he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. All right. Balances are used for what? Weighing, right? So balances represent judgment, but also we see in the scriptures that they're used uh, in the markets, in places of commerce, right? And that's what it means here in this verse. Now let's read on. Verse 6. And I heard a voice in the midst of the fourth beast say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and a measure of barley for a penny. Right? So we know that this balance is representing what? The marketplaces. Okay? And see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. Okay? Now, a measure of wheat for a penny. All right? And when you go into that word, well, let's get it. Let's get this word penny. And it's denarion, right? The elders have went into this before. Denarion was like a dime, right? A dime in the Roman captivity or Roman world, the Roman Empire. All right. It says here, a Roman silver coin in New Testament time, it took its name from its being equal to 10. All right. And then it says 10 asses, which are donkeys, right? A number after 217 BC increased to 16, right? When it gives you the grams right there, we're reading on it says it was the principal silver coin of the Roman Empire. All right. From the parable of the laborers in the vineyard. All right. So that was like, let me finish that up. It says, it would seem that a denarius was then the ordinary pay for a day's wages, right? For a day's wages. So this is what we're starting to see when we get this understanding that a measure of wheat for a penny or for a denarion, right? And 3 measures of barley for a penny in denarion. So that penny represents a whole day's worth of wages. So when we fast forward to this time, whatever you make a day, if you are hourly, if you salary, whatever, there's a breakdown, right? Based on how much your annual salary is, you can make any, say $10 an hour, right? Which is above the minimum wage. 8 hours a day. Well, that's at 80. You make $80 a day, right? So, do your math that way. But for 1 measure of wheat, for a whole day's wage, some brothers making good money. All right, $200 and $300 a day. Okay, but the point is, right here we see that it's going to take an entire day's worth of wages just to get a little bit of something to eat. A little sustenance, something that can sustain you. Okay? And really, this goes down that pathway that the brothers be going into, that a lot of brothers have spoken on, going into the UBI at some point, right? Once they tear everything down and they have to implement another digital system, right? A lot of people going to get UBI, or universal basic income. And then there won't be very much fluctuation in how much money people can make or produce in a day. Okay, and you still have to consider that the balance, all right, that's being spoken of here, a measure of wheat for a day's wages. Okay, those are the times we're coming in. And this is what we're seeing right now. This is the startup for that. If these guys go on strike, which we praying that they will, right? This is what we're going to be looking at. Because all of these things just forward prophecy. All right? They forward prophecy. And this is why we are advocates for individuals like these guys. All right? Do your thing, E. Right? Why? Because we want to get the fuck up out of here, man. All right? We trying to get up out of here. And yes, the scriptures say, all right, woe to them that desire the day of evil, right? For what benefit of it is you? But let me get a scripture, all right, for a Christian who may use that verse towards us and not really understand. This is Psalms 33 and 18, and it says, behold, the eye of the Lord Yahweh is upon them that fear him, all right, upon them that hope in his mercy, okay, to deliver their soul from death and to keep them alive in famine. Our soul waiteth for the Lord Yahweh. He is our help and our shield. All right. For our heart shall rejoice in him, because we have trusted in his holy name. Let thy mercy, O Yahweh, O Lord Yahweh, be upon us, according as we hope in thee. All right. So this is why we push for that day. This is why we put up videos and we go out on the highways and byways and we are chanting this kingdom down. All right. Speaking these things into existence. All right. Helping to forward prophecy. Okay. This is why, again, like I said, when guys like this individual in the clip that I showed come up, right? Yeah. We hoping that he does exactly what he says he's going to do. Why? Because, again, we have the hope of the Lord. And here's another one, and then I'm going to close it out. All right, this is Job chapter 5 and 17, right? And it says, behold, happy is the man whom Yahweh correcteth. All right, therefore despise not thou the chastening of the Almighty, right? And brothers are always going through something, man. This is how we know that the Lord's dealing. Okay, for he maketh sore and bindeth up. He woundeth, and his hands make whole. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles. Yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. All right, in famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. Thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue. Neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh. Neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. For thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the earth, Salaki, and the beasts of the field shall be at peace with thee. All right. And that's our hope. All right. We know this was Job talking about a different time, but this is the hope that we have, and we're fully persuaded, all right, that the Lord will apply this to us on this side. Yahweh Ratazah, all right, Adawan Ratazah, we be a part of that number. Lord willing, we be a part of that number. All right, but the elect, whomever they may be, we know will be saved from destruction, famine, and the sword. All right. So just giving y'all a little bit of insight on the longshoreman and how what's going on with that ties into the prophecies. And these are exciting times that we're living in. All right. With that, I pray this lesson was edifying, and I pray that it finds you well. And until next time, Shalom. Wa Abba Babal. Shalak Mata Babal. Shalom.